Australia doesn't have nuclear weapons. Then why are they buying nuclear submarines under the AUKUS deal? So Australia is part of the closest knit alliance of the US, the closest vassal state of the US, which is the Five Eyes nations. The US plus four more nations: Australia, New Zealand, Canada, and the UK. So these are the five English-speaking nations, four, and the big boss, which is the US. The Australians originally had this deal with the French. They were supposed to buy French Scorpion class or whatever class submarines. They had the signed agreement. Agreement was signed. It was done, and they broke the agreement. They backstabbed the French. The French are very upset, and they have gone for this US deal. So the Americans will be selling them five or six submarines. The deal is going to cost them more than $360 billion, which is an eye-watering amount of money, shocking amount of money. And these are going to be nuclear submarines. What does it mean that a submarine is a nuclear submarine? It doesn't mean that it's going to carry nuclear weapons. The Australians don't have any nukes, unless the Americans have placed nukes on Australian soil, which is a possibility. But those will be controlled by the Americans. Australia as a nation does not have nuclear weapons. So why are they going for nuclear submarines? And what does it mean to be a nuclear submarine? A nuclear submarine is a submarine that has nuclear propulsion. Its engine is a nuclear reactor. So there's a nuclear reactor inside in which nuclear fission happens, which in turn drives a steam engine that generates electricity and produces the propulsion for the submarine. So that's what a nuclear submarine is. So you can have nuclear submarines without being a nuclear weapons state. And you can be a nuclear weapon state and not have nuclear submarines. So India could very well place nuclear tipped ballistic missiles on Scorpion submarines if we can get it done. And India also does have the Arihant class nuclear submarines. Two already are in operation. Two are being built right now, and we will have many more in the future. Better versions, better, more enhanced submarines. So Australia, despite being a non-nuclear weapon state, is going to purchase US nuclear submarines in a deal that's in excess of $360 billion. That's shocking. So the advantage of nuclear propulsion is that you can essentially stay underwater indefinitely, and you can even get the oxygen and everything recycled, so you don't need to surface for oxygen. When you have diesel engine submarines and all, you have to keep on surfacing from time to time, maybe once in a week or once in 2 weeks, once in 3 weeks, depending on the design, to get oxygen and replenish your cells and all those things. You also have something called air independent propulsion, and there is a Stirling cycle engines and hydrogen fuel cells and all that. So these are various technologies you can use. The air independent propulsion is typically quieter than nuclear propulsion. But yeah, so the advantage of a nuclear submarine with nuclear propulsion is that you can stay underwater indefinitely, months at a time, maybe in excess of a year, if you can carry enough supplies and all. The Australians are paying America protection money. Protection money. You pay up and you're going to be safe for a week, hafta. So they're paying us the US protection money. And the submarines are US built submarines. They're extremely technologically advanced. The Australians probably don't have the know-how of how to operate the submarine. So most likely, even the crew will be American. Most likely, the captain will be American. So it's America parking 5 or 6 nuclear submarines on Australian soil, on Australian waters, and Australia will pay the Americans for the privilege. That's essentially what it is. That's how the world works.